Two flagship wireless mice, two different ideas about what a flagship even is. In one corner, the Razer Viper V4 Pro, a mouse so stripped back it's almost too simple, and in the other, the Logitech G Pro X2 Superstrike, which throws out the mechanical switch entirely and replaces it with an electromagnet. So which one deserves a spot on your desk? Let's find out. Welcome to the Tech Shed. Now, as always, let's clarify who these are actually for. They both cost flagship money, the Viper at $160 US, the Superstrike at $180, and neither is a do-everything mouse. No macros, no MMORPG side clusters, no RGBs. They're mainly built for one type of person, the competitive FPS player, the Valorant and CS2 crowd where a gunfight comes down to fractions of a second. If that's you, you're probably thinking which one is the best, because on the surface they're quite similar, both are symmetrical, both boast matte colors, both 8,000 Hertz, both USB-C. The difference isn't really in what you can see, it's in what each one spent the money on. So let's go round by round. So let's start, of course, with price, but we'll also chuck in weight. The Razer's obviously 20 bucks cheaper, and it lands the bigger punch on the scales as well. 49 grams versus 61, that's a 12 gram gap, and at this level, depending on what you prefer, that might be a lot, but for me, a filthy casual, heavier isn't really worse here. The Logitech uses the excellent Superlight 2 shell, and unless you're specifically thinking about it, you won't notice those grams in hand like at all. But, and I'm sure these people are out there, for a player chasing every last gram, the featherweight Viper is the lighter option. And cheaper. But more importantly, the clicks, and this is the big one. This is the whole reason this matchup is interesting, because the two mice fundamentally disagree about how a click should even work. The Razer keeps it traditional and does it really well. Under the buttons, you've got Razer's Gen 4 optical switches, so no double click issues from mechanical wear down the line, and the clicks are nice and crisp. The one thing I'll say is they are loud, noticeably loud, but they're real, satisfying clicks, and they just work. The Superstrike throws all of that out. Instead of a switch, there's a copper coil generating an electromagnetic field. When you press the button, a metal plate moves towards that coil, and the change in the field registers the click. No physical contact, no mechanical debounce, nothing touching anything. Logitech calls it the haptic inductive trigger system, or HITS. And what that unlocks is stuff we've seen in high-end keyboards, but never in a mouse. Fully adjustable actuation points, 10 levels of them, from a barely there feather touch down to a deliberate firm press, plus 5 rapid trigger reset levels, so the button can re-register faster than a normal switch allows. Because there's no mechanical click, there's also no sound and no traditional snap. So Logitech adds a haptic actuator to fake the feedback, tunable across 5 intensity levels or off entirely. I'll be honest, it felt strange for about a minute and then completely normal. So which is better? It's quite hard to say. If you want a proven crisp click you never have to think about, the Razer's switches are brilliant, just pack some earplugs. If you want the most advanced, most customizable trigger in any mouse on the planet, the Superstrike stands alone. This round isn't really about better, it's about what you want, but for pure technical achievement, I have to give it to Logitech. Now back to an area where both mice are quite similar, sensor and latency. Both have more sensor than any human will use, unless you're that guy that commented on my last mouse review who uses it at 20,000 DPI. My goodness, what's going on there? The Razer is on a 50,000 DPI optical, the Logitech on 44,000. Essentially, you won't notice the difference, because what maniac is getting anywhere near those other than that guy? On polling, they're even as well. Both hit 8,000 Hertz, and here's the thing, both do it wirelessly. The Superstrike reports its position every 0.125 milliseconds over Logitech's Lightspeed. The Viper matches that 8K over Razer's Hyperspeed. But the way they get there is different. Both mice talk to your PC through a little wireless receiver you plug into a USB port, but Razer's is different. Instead of the tiny thumbnail-sized receiver you'd normally get, the Viper uses what they call a hyperpolling dongle, a chunky puck that sits out on your desk. It's the bit doing the heavy lifting for that 8K wireless, but it does eat up some desk space, though at least it's bundled in the box now. It never used to be. Logitech goes the smaller route, a small USB-A receiver that can tuck into a slot inside the mouse itself if you're taking it on the go. Same 8K result, but two very different bits of kit getting you there. To be fair to both mice, I'm not going to crown a winner on numbers like these, because there's not much point. Your aim, positioning, and game sense matter far more than a few milliseconds, and both mice are as fast as you'll ever need, so this one's a draw. At the 1000 Hertz polling rate, the Viper's rated at up to 180 hours, dropping to around 45 at full 8K. The Superstrike's rated up to 90 hours at that same 1000 Hertz, and in real world use, you're looking at more like 60 to 90, depending on how hard you push the polling and the haptics, because unlike the Viper, it's also spending power driving those haptic clicks. So at matched settings, the Razer has roughly double the capacity. If you hate charging things, easy win for the Viper. Now, shape-wise, the Viper leans towards claw and fingertip grips, though palm grippers with small to medium hands will still get on with it fine. The Superstrike uses the larger Superlight 2 shell, and it's comfortable across both palm and claw grips. So if you're a bigger-handed, full palm player, the Logitech's probably the more natural fit of the two. Now, the DPI button, you know, the thing that makes your mouse a bit slower or faster on the fly, perfect for sniping. Neither of these actually has one up top. On the Viper, it's tucked away underneath, doubling as the power button. The upside is a clean top deck and zero chance of knocking your sensitivity mid-game. The downside is if you like changing DPI on the fly, you're either flipping the mouse over or remapping it to a side button first. The Superstrike goes even further and just doesn't give you a dedicated DPI button at all. So it's the same deal, you're remapping to a side button if you want to switch on the fly. So if changing DPI mid-game is your thing, know that both of these make you work for it. Not a deal breaker for either, but worth knowing. Flip them both over and the Superstrike has one genuinely nice touch, a hidden magnetic compartment that holds the wireless USB receiver, so you're not losing that little dongle down the back of your desk. Otherwise, it's the standard competitive layout on both, two side buttons and a scroll wheel. Nothing flashy, and the only real omission on either is that DPI button. I said that a lot, we just talked about. Now onto the extras, although there's not really much to cover here. Both charge over USB-C, but the Superstrike also works with a PowerPlay 2 wireless mat, and when it comes to software, both allow you to do everything you need to. I do prefer G-Hub to Synapse Force, so for me, this round leans towards Logitech. However, that's just going to be a personal preference thing, so it's really going to be up to you. So after all that, which one should you pick? Here's the thing. These two don't really fight over the same person as much as it looks. Get the Viper if you want the simple pick. It's lighter, it's 20 bucks cheaper, it's got roughly double the battery, and the clicks just work. It's almost too simple, and I mean that as a compliment. You're not fiddling with settings, you're just playing. The only real catches are those loud clicks and that DPI button living underneath. It's a brilliant mouse. Get the Superstrike if you want the clever one. The hits trigger is the most advanced thing in any mouse right now. It's silent, you can dial the click in exactly how you like it, and it's the one with the PowerPlay wireless charging if that's your ecosystem. Just know you're paying more for a heavier mouse with less battery to get it. For me, and remember, I'm a filthy casual, the Viper's the easier one to just live with. But if the clicks are the things that get you excited, and for some of you they will be, the Superstrike is genuinely doing something nobody else is, and there's real fun in that. Either way, you're getting one of the best mice going. Let me know down below which way you'd lean, the simple featherweight or the one from the future. If this helped, hit subscribe. It helps a little channel like mine. This is The Tech Shed, and I'll see you in the next one.